Hello, 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 hello. I'm sorry, everyone. I am late. About 3 minutes for sure. I had some internet issues, so we got it fixed and pulled it together real quick so I could get on top of this live. I had already created a video actually because I thought I was going to have to postpone this till next week because we weren't anticipating any internet issues. We weren't having any, bad weather or anything going on here. It's actually been a very beautiful day, but you know how technology is and how IT is. So it was just one of those things. But anyway, I am here, and tonight on Talk to Ruth Live, we will be discussing emotions. So if you are struggling in your relationships and communication and dealing with your emotions, and your emotions are taking over your conversations when you are trying to communicate with, someone who you love or someone that you work with or someone just in your life, and you're struggling with keeping your emotions in check, then tonight's lesson is for you. Okay, so I'm happy you're here. I'll wait a few minutes and see if any people come on or pop up in the chat, just about a minute or two, and then I'll go ahead and kind of get started. I hope everyone is well. I just want to also go ahead and put out there to look for a video tomorrow. I have an exciting announcement that'll be coming out tomorrow morning in a video. So be sure to look for that. And hopefully that'll be something that you all will be excited about as well. Okay. So I see 2 people watching. No one's popped up in the chat yet. I'll just wait for a second, and it's fine to stay behind the curtains if that's where you like to be. I'm not bothered by it one bit. So, because I can talk regardless. I hope everyone is doing well. It's been a beautiful Saturday. I know, football has started for so many people. So football is big in our house. And a Little League started today. So, a lot of that's been going on, and we've had a beautiful day for that as well. So I hope you all are doing good. Hello, Apostle. How are you? Okay, no problem. Take your time. I'm just going to wait a minute or two. I kind of came on late myself. We were having some internet issues, so it is what it is sometimes. I'm just thankful we were able to get it fixed before I had to cancel this live. Hello, Nell Court. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Thank you for coming in. Happy to see everyone. We're going to be talking about emotions tonight. I hope you all are having a good week. How's everyone doing? You can just chat, let me know how your day's been. Have you had an emotional day or a pretty calm, chill, and relaxed day? Hey, Nevin. Hi, nephew. How are you? Good to see you. I love you. Did you have a good day, Nevin? I hope all is going well. Yes, you had a good day. Fantastic. Annie had a good day too. Okay. Hello, Apostle Edgar. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate you all for being here. Let's see. Air is better here and it's cooler. Very nice. Yeah, I love this weather. And fall is my absolute favorite time of the year. October, November, December. In Texas, I live for it every year. Those are my favorite times. The weather's beautiful. We don't really get snow here hardly ever. So it does get really hot, but fall here is just the most beautiful time of the year. So definitely my favorite time, and we're coming into that season. So I'm excited. It always makes me happy and giddy. Besides the allergies, it does pull in a lot of stuff for allergies. So we do have to deal with that. Well, I'm not going to delay. It is 8 minutes into my hour, and we have lots to talk about tonight in regards to our emotions. If more people show up, I'll pop in they want to pop in, I'll say hello and greet you, and then we'll move on with tonight's lesson. So tonight, all this week we talked about our emotions and how they take over our conversations and how they can take over our conversations. And on Tuesday, I put out a tip where the tip was that's not what I meant, right? So how many times have we had to say that in our conversations where we're talking to people and you can tell the conversation is moving in a direction which you didn't intend for it to go? Hello, Miranda. Heaven bound. I love that. I love that. Welcome in. Good to see you. I'm glad you're here. So our emotions get in the way. The conversation is going somewhere that we didn't intend for it to go. And sometimes it can get so far out there until we can't pull it back, right? It gets difficult to pull it back. And then we have to spend time trying to figure out how we're going to get through the conversation and deal with our emotions. So that can be a challenging thing. When emotions are high, oh, thank you. Thank you so much. I appreciate the compliment. When emotions are high, our listening, our understanding is altered. Okay. I'm going to pop in. Hello, Blue Jean Network. How are you? My channel name is long. Yeah. Everyone talks about my channel, how long my channel name is. But I've seen people with channel names longer than mine. And actually the channel, I started to leave it at just You Can Talk. But I kind of felt like that didn't explain what it was about. It wasn't a good enough answer. So I just said Your Way to Healthy Relationships is really what it's about. And it's self-explanatory. I mean, no one comes here wondering, what they're getting. So I leave it. And it works out. I'm okay with it being long. And people usually do what you just did. They highlight it and post it and it's fine. It's, it is what it is. But yeah, people talk about how long it is all the time. They're like, how many letters is this? How many words is this? I'm like, but it really is just You Can Talk. But a lot of times people feel they need to say the whole thing, and I'm fine with that, either way. I just want people to know what they're getting when they come here. Hello, Donna Reed Love. How are you? Hello, V Loves TNN. How are you? Thank you for being here. I'm happy everyone is here. We're just getting started. Yes, has everyone had a good day? Okay, good. I'm glad the day is going good. We've had a beautiful, beautiful day here in Texas. And everything has just been beautiful. So I love, like I say, I love this time of the year. So let's get back to our emotions. And I'll stop when I see the chat moving. I'll stop and make sure I've greeted everyone and talk to everyone. Oh, someone's not feeling well. Oh, that's not good. I'm sorry, Connor. 4,800. I'll make sure we pray for you. Hello, the Positive Pusher. How are you? Good to see you. Welcome in. I'm happy you're here. So we have quite a few people popping in. So I appreciate you all being here. So it's been a beautiful day. I know it's a Saturday night. The weather's been beautiful and people are so tempted to be other places but home because we've been inside for so long. I know that it's been, from Ireland. Oh, how awesome is that? Oh, I so can't wait to get to Ireland. I have a good coworker that went there and brought back all their beautiful pictures a couple of years back. And oh my goodness, just breathtakingly beautiful. So how awesome is that? Yeah, I would definitely like to do some more overseas traveling. Hello, Minister of Music, Terrence Trower. How are you? Make sure I get that right because I enjoy your channel so much. I enjoy listening to, the worship that goes on there. A lot of times when I do my walks in the evening, I have you turned on. So I'm not in the chat talking, but I am listening, just so you know, behind the scenes doing my walks. All right. I think I've gotten everyone. Said hello. For those of you who all are just coming in, we're talking about our emotions tonight. For those of you, I hope you caught the, yes, he does have powerful worship over there. It's nothing but worship over there. And I love it. It's like worship on demand, worship on demand. And you're on quite often. So, all throughout the day. So it's really nice. It's really nice. And the environment is awesome, family oriented. So if you all are looking for a channel where you can go get worship, check him out, Minister of Music, Terrence Trower. He really does have an awesome channel over there that I enjoy popping in and listening to. All right, Kiki D. Hey, sister. There's my sister. A couple of my sisters are in the chat. I'm so happy. Thank you. I love y'all so much. Okay, I'm doing well. I'm doing very well. I'm doing really good. I've had a phenomenal day, so it's been good. All right, so like I said, we're talking about emotions tonight. I hope many of you caught the lesson for our tip on Tuesday and the lesson on Thursday. I hope that it touched something, and I hope that's why you're here tonight, because you want to talk about how you deal with your emotions when it comes to communicating. Hello, Angie Poo 215. Greetings to you. First timer, welcome. Yes, I'm happy to see you. Welcome in. Welcome. I hope you stick around. I hope you get something that you enjoy, something that's useful, and you have a good time. You feel welcome here and you come back. And I hope that I'll see you often. And I'll definitely be checking you out as well, so I can see what's going on over there with you. When I get family members, I like to really feel like we're internet family as much as that can happen. So I will definitely be there checking you out. It's your first time too, Miranda. Good. Okay. Good. Welcome. Yeah. I always go back and look and kind of see who comes in on my lives. And because I'm so thankful, I know how time can be, precious. And so for you all to take the time out to come and sit in my live sessions, really, I appreciate so very much. And I try to make it valuable for you. So, and I hope that you all can, get good stuff out of here. Thank you so much for sharing me out as well. I appreciate that. Thank you. Okay, we'll get started. My tip of the week, like I said, was that's not what we talked about. That is not what I meant. And because when we're talking and we're having conversations, a lot of times that ends up what we're saying, right? We end up saying, how did they get that understanding? I thought I was being clear with my words. We can feel like we're, saying everything that we know to say. And in our minds, we already have this anticipation of how the conversation is supposed to go. So when it goes left, we quickly and easily can get sort of, mixed up and trying to figure out what happened, how it got off track, and then trying to work to get it back on track as quickly as possible before it just goes somewhere that we completely don't want it to go and feelings are hurt. But when our emotions get in the way, it can be very difficult to do that, because when words start coming out that we don't intend to come out, because of our emotions have taken over, it can be very difficult to reel them back in when they've already gone there. So let me know, this is my first question of the night, and you all can pop it in the chat. How do you all handle your emotions? When you feel yourself getting emotional in a conversation, do you ignore your emotions? You try to ignore them, and you can just put this as a one word in the chat. Do you ignore them? Do you suppress them? Do you try to work through it, or do you just let them rip? Do you just, let your emotions have their way? So do you ignore them? Do you suppress them? Do you work through them, or do you set them free? Okay, you can just say set free, work through, suppress, or ignore. I just kind of want to see how you all handle your emotions when you feel them sort of taking over your conversation. Yes. Hello, thank S, _S. How are you? Welcome in. You try to ignore and suppress. Okay. Anyone else? Do you ignore them, suppress them, work through them, or set them free? And how does that work for you? Is that something does that work for you, Apostle, or does that cause you distress? Does that work for you, or does it cause you distress? Suppress. Okay. Anyone else? It depends on the situation. If you're at work, you suppress. Okay. Okay. Yeah, for sure. The situation and the environment a lot of times makes a difference, but our general nature typically, will say what we do. Let's see, not sure just how you do it. Okay. You try to suppress, but it's hard. It is hard to suppress. Yeah. I suppress for a little bit, but suppressing my emotions does not work well for me. I'm a free spirit. I'm an open spirit, and I have to get things off my chest. I can't let bitterness or anger or frustration or anything reside in my heart for a long period of time because it messes with my character and who I am as a person. And it puts me in a mental space that is just not good. So I may suppress it for a short period of time until I deal with it and work through it and figure out what I need to do about it. And then I'm going to set them free. I'm going to set them free, but I like to set them free in a way that's somewhat controlled so that they don't just, get outside the lines. Hello, Natural Way of Cody. Blessings to you. Blessings to you. I was in your live the other night, and I enjoyed listening to you sing and hearing your children. I know you were so worried about your kids in the background, but it's something about, hearing the voices of little ones that's always just, hearing their happiness and joy is always a blessing to hear. So I hope it doesn't bother other people, but it didn't bother me. But I have little ones too. So, that could have been why it didn't bother me. Okay. So yeah, people handle their emotions in different ways. So some people suppress, some people work through them, some people are able to set them free. But what happens is that our emotions tend to make our conversations and our voice take on a different tone, right? So when our emotions are high, when we're happy, when we're sad, whatever it is that we are, our emotion, the tones of our voice change. Sometimes we can get high. We can get harsh. The tones can go up and down, high and low, louder and softer. We can get defensive, sarcastic. We can become nonchalant about stuff, like I could care less about it now. We can get defiant. We can begin to belittle people, or some of us even take on somewhat of like a parental role, you start to take on a parental role, like you're making commands and demands at people. And then just like being controlling. So all sorts of things happen with our voice when we allow our emotions to get in the way. Do any of you all experience those types of tone changes in your words when your emotions are beginning to take over your conversations? And you can just put a yes or no in the chat. Okay, thank you, so. All right. So one of the things that I do, one of the practices that I do all the time before I have a conversation that I know could potentially be emotional, right? Maybe I need to, let something heavy off of my heart. Maybe I know this is, especially if I know it's something that the person is probably not going to want to hear because they're looking, they have their own perceptions or their own thoughts about, how things should be, how I should be. Or what should be happening within a situation. So one of the things that I do up front before I start a heavy conversation, and this is when you know that you're going to have this conversation, whether the person is coming to you because they need to talk to you about something, or whether you're going to them. Now it can be different, when you're caught off guard with a conversation. Now that's a whole nother set of practices when you're caught off guard with a conversation. But when you know that you need to have a conversation with someone, before I get started up front, I let them know what my intentions are with this conversation. So I will say things like, I need to have a conversation with you. First of all, is this a good time, right? Because timing is everything when it comes to how to deal with and handle a conversation. Because when people are sleepy, when they're tired, when they're hungry, when they're irritable, and this is if you know the person that you're in this relationship with, we can approach people the wrong way because we're not paying attention to what's going on in their life. We're not taking into consideration that they may be going through something at that moment, and it's not really a good time for them to have a heavy conversation with us, or talk about something that could be extensive. Maybe they've had a long day. So the first thing I do is I let them know that I need to have a conversation with them. Is this a good time? Right? So that's number one up front. Then I let them know my intentions, because sometimes one of the things that I think catches people off guard the most is that people don't understand why you're bringing up the conversation, or they don't know where it's going. Like, why are you bringing this up? Why are you saying this? Where are you going with this? Right? And that's a thing that triggers people and puts people in defensive mode right up front, right? Because they don't know what our intentions are. They don't know if we're there to cause an argument. They don't know if we're there to, if we're there to start a fight, if you just need to, because you need to dump your day off on somebody. They don't know. And so they don't know how to take what it is that we might be bringing to them. So if you state your intentions up front, I'm coming to you because I have this conversation and I want to address this situation, right? I want to deal with our relationship. I want to talk about our children. I want to work through this money situation that we're having, or this time issue that is bothering me or concerning me, and I have some thoughts about it that I want to talk with you about. So they know up front what our intentions are. That number one, we're coming with good intentions, right? We want to work through it. So we're not coming to them because we want to start a fight. We're coming to them because we want to work through the issue, come to some resolution, or figure out some sort of compromise. So that's something that helps up front when we state our intentions. And so then you can say something like, I need to get this weight off of my chest. I need to get a better understanding of maybe why you did this, why you said that, or why this is going on. Help people, let people know what it is that you're trying to understand better, or what it is that's bothering you. Or I need to know what direction we're moving in. Maybe things are happening in your life, happening in your relationships, and you're lost as to where things are going, or why things are happening the way they are. And especially if it's something that you had talked about initially, like, we're going to go do this, and all of a sudden that's not happening, and now we're doing this, and you're trying to figure out, well, hey, what are we doing now? Because I thought we were doing this, So state your intentions up front. Ask if it's a good time. State your intentions up front, and then let them know what it is you're trying to get a better understanding of, or what it is you're trying to work through, or what it is you want to compromise on, or what it is you want to come to some resolution on. So let them know up front, and so that way it sets the tone for the conversation. It sets the tone for the conversation. Hey, I'm not here to fight with you. I'm not here to argue with you. I'm not here to, belittle you, or, make you feel less than in any way. I simply need to, get to this issue. And I'm going to stop and just pop here and look at the chat real quick. Okay, Angie Pooh says she shuts down. Okay. Let's see. Yes, lower tone. Yes, lower your tone. Short 3 to 7 word sentences. Yes, our voice escalates. It can vary. Okay. So you get short with your words, and your voice can escalate, and you try to lower your tone. And lowering your tone is probably not a bad thing. I can always say, I need to save this. Okay. I can always say, I need to save this. Okay. Okay. Everyone's speaking to each other. I try to smile. Miranda says, I try to smile. Okay. And that's fine too. Sometimes that is best. Sometimes that's best, especially depending on the situation we're in. So then, as the conversation begins, we want to talk about what I talked about in our Tuesday list. Humor is also good. Humor is also good. It is. Yes, humor can definitely be good if you know how to use it correctly, so that it doesn't come off sarcastic. So yeah, but humor definitely has its place in lightening a situation and changing the tone of a conversation. So if you know how to use that well, good, because some people can take it very offensively when you bring in humor into something that, especially if they're trying to be serious about it and they don't understand why you're not. So be careful with your humor as long as you know how to use it well. that's also a good way to change the tone of a conversation. So it helped you with road rage. Okay. Yes, so many people. I'm amazed at how many people in the world have road rage. I'm like, I had a good friend that I used to, ride with her, and I would literally be scared out of my mind riding because the road rage was so extreme, so extreme. It was like, what are you doing? What are you doing? And it was, we'd be in the middle of a conversation talking and chill, and somebody would, cut her off or do something out of the way, and it was just all the way left. And I would be like, whoa, like what just happened? So anyway, but I think she's gotten better with that. She's gotten better with that over time. So yeah, a lot of people have road rage, and that always is very scary. I don't know what it is. People feel so powerful in their cars, I guess. But anyway, moving on. So one of the things before I respond to a conversation, I'd like to try to make sure that I've gotten a good understanding of what it is that we're talking about. Okay, this is what I heard you say, and this is what I understood. And so I make sure that I'm hearing them and understanding them correctly before I respond, because our brains can listen to words, especially if it's a conversation between a man and a woman, right? We automatically think differently. We talk differently, especially if it's a conversation between the opposite sex. And if it's a conversation between the same sex, a lot of times it can still go the wrong way because we think we know what they mean. We women, we pay more attention, two women and two men together. We feel like we understand, we know what it is they're trying to get at. So then we make more assumptions. We make a lot of assumptions. So either way, a lot of assumptions are made. And assumptions are never good in a conversation. You always want to make sure you get clear understanding of what it is the person is trying to get at. So this is what I heard. This is what I understood. Is that what you meant? And give them an opportunity to say, yes, that's exactly what I meant, or no, you didn't understand that correctly. And then give them another opportunity to say it to where you can understand it. My husband and I will often have conversations where I'll be saying something to him, and he's like, and he may say, tell me in a different way. Like, can you say that in a different way? Because I'm not really understanding what you're saying. And that's a great thing, because I think that I'm being clear, and I think he should understand it the way I understood it, but that doesn't always happen. So when he says to me, okay, tell me in a different way, or say that in a different way, and then, I can try to think about what did I say, change my approach, change my tone, sometimes whatever it is I need to do, depending on what the conversation is about. And then that tends to help a lot as well. Let's see. I never yell, but would respond. Okay, great. Calmly, let's see, Miranda, calmly, but that can be bad too. You have to hold your peace. You do have to hold your peace. I don't like when people make scenes in public. Yes, I would never do that. Yes, and we're going to talk a little bit about that too. Yeah. So, and we'll talk about that too, about our environment and our spaces when we're having conversations. So then we moved on to our Thursday lesson, where I gave you all this elaborate analogy about paint and our emotions, and how paint on a canvas, and our emotions are like the paint on our conversations, right? They paint the colors into our conversations. Let's see. I run away and shut down. Ooh, okay. All right. We want to get away from that. Let's see. Getting ready for babies, ready for bed. Okay, no problem. I know it's late for those of you who are on the East Coast, and early for those of you who might be on the West Coast. And I don't know what time it is in Ireland, but I'm happy you're here. So yeah, no problem. But so I talked about how the colors, how the paintbrush, I gave you all the paintbrush, the example of the paintbrush, I'm drawing a blank here, of the water, and also the smock that I wore, right? So the smock, I talked about that being our covering of the whole of God, Jesus, the blood of Jesus, when he died for us and covered us and gave us that protection, and how the water was the Bible, God's biblical word, our user's manual, which I often like to call it our user's manual. And then also the paint fairy being the Holy Spirit, the paint fairy who came to help me when I was doing the painting on my canvas and having trouble keeping my paint, within the lines that I had drawn. How the paint fairy came to help me and calm me down and said, hey, it's okay. Just, mix this color, work on doing this. It's okay to step outside the lines. Just, calm down, fix it this way, move your paintbrush this way, turn your colors this way, it's okay. So, and how that related to the Holy Spirit and how we have those same resources when we are having our conversations. God covers us. We have the word that we go to help keep our emotions in line. And we have the Holy Spirit speaking to us, speaking to our spirit to keep us in a healthy place and to let us know that things are going to be okay. Because a lot of times when our emotions get out of hand, we think all is lost. We're like, right, our first thought sometimes is, oh, this is over. This is going to be over, right? We automatically go to those thoughts, those negative thoughts, that there's no way we're going to be able to come back from this. This relationship is not going to survive. We're not going to be friends anymore. We're not going to be able to work together anymore. We're not going to be together anymore, or this is going to change the whole tone of our marriage or, our relationship. And it doesn't have to. It doesn't have to. So, and that's what I kind of want us to get away from, that fear that our emotions can take over our relationships and our conversations. So let's go on. And I talked about how when our emotions, like when we're happy, it's easy for us to speak words of kindness, and we're easily patient with people. When we're empathetic, when our emotions are empathetic, we can be patient with people. We can be understanding with people. We have all the time in the world to listen to them. But, when we're angry, we can get sarcastic, or we can, begin to say ugly words to people. When we're jealous, we tend to say words that are a lot more judgmental, right? It's like, well, I don't know why you're doing that way, or, well, what were you thinking when you did this or said that? Those types of words tend to come out when we're experiencing jealousy. And when we're in love and we love someone, we're supportive. We give out lots of compliments, right? So our emotions literally affect our conversation all the time. So that's why it's so important that we are in touch with our emotions and we keep our emotions in check, so to speak. And I hate to say it like that, but really we have to be in tune with our emotions, because we need to know what makes us feel particular ways. And when we're feeling those particular ways, how do we need to approach and handle our conversations, right? So when you're tired, when you're, maybe feeling unassured or depressed or tired or sick or whatever it is you're feeling, that may not be the best time to have a conversation with someone, whether it's a conversation that you initiated or a conversation that someone else brought to you. We have to be in touch with our emotions, because a lot of times we feel obligated to speak to people just because they come to us. And we don't have to speak to people. We don't have to have long, extensive conversations. And when someone is coming to us and we know we're not in a good space, mentally, emotionally, physically, whatever it is, we need to let people know. We need to let them know and not be afraid to say, hey, is this something that, first of all, what are your intentions with this conversation? Is this something that we need to work through? Is this going to be an extensive amount of time? I'm not feeling well, or, things are, I have a lot going on in my life right now. I'm working through some emotional things or some physical things. We have to let people know up front so that they don't force a conversation upon us that we're not mentally or emotionally prepared to handle. Okay, so we have to do that. So just because a person brings a conversation to you, especially when someone's calling you on the phone, you don't know why they're calling you, let them know. Don't be afraid to let them know, hey, I really only have 5 minutes, or I'm really not, is this something that is going to take a little bit of time? Is this something that's going to be really important, or something that's going to be stressful or whatever? Because this is this is what I'm going through, or I'm going through something right now. Can we reschedule the conversation? Can I talk with you at this particular time or this particular day? But try not to let too many days go by. We don't want to ignore people and avoid people, because that can make emotions worse. That can make the emotions just on both ends even worse, because now they're like, well, why didn't they call me back? Or what's taking them so long to call me back? Or, so you want to make sure that you, if you do reschedule a conversation, that you honor the time that you set to meet and have that conversation. All right. Let's see. So true. And I find the older I get, the shorter my fuse, and I have to pause and think before I speak. Absolutely. And it's just the truth. It's just the truth. You get older because we know ourselves more. We know ourselves more. And a lot of times the people who are bringing conversations also know us. So we tend to be less patient with people who know us even better, because we're like, you know me. Why are you bringing this to me? You know how I am. Why are you coming at me like this? So we tend to be even much shorter with people who know us better. Let's see, true. Need to realize that they can be managed. Yes, our emotions absolutely can be managed. Good night, Life with Triple T. Thank you for coming in. I appreciate you. I'm always doing homework when you're on the struggles. Yes. I can't get, I can't get a full session of you. Okay, well, hopefully you will at some point. I know it's, like I say, it's not as fun watching the replay, but I appreciate, if you can, or if you will, if that works for you. But I'm thankful for the time, and go get your studies in, because that is absolutely number one priority. Take care of your business first and your priorities first. I will be here, I promise. All right, so good night to you. All right, so here's my question. The next question is, what type of boundaries do our emotions blur? What type of boundaries do our emotions blur? Because we have boundaries in our life set up around conversations. And I'll give you all a few that I came up with, and you can tell me if when your emotions get in the way, what boundaries are crossed when your emotions get in the way. For me, when my emotions get in the way, number one, I lose patience. I lose patience when my emotions get in the way, because I typically am a person that likes to, come to a resolution. And sometimes that can't always happen in, the time frame that I may like for it to happen in. So you all let me know what boundaries do your emotions cause you to cross? What boundaries do your emotions cause you to cross? Okay. Do you get, someone said they get short with people. You get a short fuse. Do they cause you to say things you don't mean? Let me know. What do your emotions cause you to do? A couple people said you shut down, you run away. I heard someone say that. Oh, thank you. No problem. No problem. No worries. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much. All right. So what happens? So when we allow our emotions to get in the way and take over, they end up causing a big mess, right? A big mess that we end up having to try to clean up. And because we're not prepared for the mess, we just sometimes do a bad job at cleaning it up, and we don't even know how to clean it up. And so it leaves like a residue on the person's heart or on the relationship. It's like when you get a ketchup stain and you work to clean it up and you do your best, but at the end of the day, there's still that faint residue sitting on the person's heart that, oh yeah, that's the person that I had this conversation with, and there's always that residue. And that's the part, it's always a reminder. Every time you see that person, every time we see them, we're reminded of that conversation. We're reminded of that fight we had. We're reminded of that, issue that we never came to any resolution on, because our emotions got in the way, and we were never able to work through the situation or work through the conversation or work through the issue. And that's what emotions do. That's what emotions do when we allow them to. Apostle says, we use words we know will hurt. Absolutely. We absolutely do that, especially when people have hurt us. When people have hurt us, we tend to get immediate. That's typically our immediate response is to hurt them back. and to say things. Shut down. Yeah, a lot of people shut down. A lot of people shut down. And it's okay to shut down, to allow yourself to process, but we want to make sure that we don't shut down and never get back and work through the issues. So we have to come out of shutdown mode, deal with it, process yourself through it, and then get out of shutdown mode and get back to working through what the issues are. So here's some things that I do. So for sure, I want to talk about, we have physical practices that we can do to help us deal with our emotions. And we have spiritual practices that we can do to help us with our emotions. So some of the physical practices for sure, like number one, I do get quiet. I'm just like a lot of you in here, I get quiet. And most people know that when I'm quiet, I'm usually working through some things. I'm processing through some emotions. That's my quiet mode. My quiet mode is me processing my emotions. Okay. Like I said, I think someone said they walk away, and it's okay to walk away. But again, we just want to make sure that we don't stay away and never get back to dealing with the issue, dealing with our emotions. I like to take a drive. I like to, be out in nature. I'm a big hiker. I love hiking. I love, being out in the air, and because it changes my mental state. So you all let me know in the chat what you all do to help change or deal with your emotions. Let me know some of the things that you all do to help change the state of your emotions. I'm telling you all some things that I do, and then I want you all to let me know some of the things that you all do. Let's see. People are so used to negativity that when you are kind to them, they think you're being fake. Yes, that's very true. That's very true. We do live in a world where trust is an issue with everyone, because we all feel like everyone outside of our family, and sometimes even within our family, are they have altered intentions, and we don't ever know what their intentions are. We rarely, most people I know rarely give people the benefit of the doubt that their intentions are good. And more times than not, we're reassured that their intentions are not good, and which reinforces our thoughts of not being able to trust people, which is horrible. And that's why we do have to be in prayer and, ask for discernment and wisdom, and try to look for the God in people. I really work hard to, when I'm talking to people, to see past what they're throwing at me. So if, for instance, if someone is coming to me and they're, and I'll use some examples from when I worked in dentistry. Somebody would come in and they would be hot tempered, well, I don't want this. And I'm not paying for that. And I don't want you doing this today and this and that. And I'm thinking, we just met like 5 minutes ago. And I'm feeling all this, negativity and, emotions coming at me. And so I will lower my tone, soften my tone. I will, take my time. I will listen. I try not to talk over. I make sure that I don't, clap back, so to speak. And then I will start asking them about, okay, what's going on? Why are you feeling this way? What has happened in your past experiences, at the dental office? And let me know, so that they understand that I care, and that I'm coming at them with the best intentions of us getting through this appointment. Okay, so that's just a simple example of something that I've done. Let's see. Prayer works. Yes, prayer absolutely works. For those of you who are believers, and the power of prayer absolutely changes your mental state in a heartbeat. What is a good direct way of dealing with the trust issue? For yourself, or for the person that you're in the relationship with? I just need a little bit more detail. Let's see. What is a good direct way of dealing with the trust issue? For yourself, or for just relationships in individual? Hey, Coach Sherry, how are you? Good to see you. Good to see you. Welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. That's another powerful channel, guys, for those of you who are always looking for good content creators and positive information, good information to see on YouTube. So Coach Sherry is another great channel. Her stuff is centered more around business and opportunities and entrepreneurship, and she does excellent stuff in that realm. All right. Great seeing you as well. Let's see. As I've gotten older, I pray, listen to music, and rehearse the conversation. I love that. Yeah, I need to have several times in my head so that I can hopefully have a nice conversation and not an argument. Yes, I like that. I love that. Is a great tip to rehearse the conversation. I will get in front of a mirror for sure, and get in front of the conversation, get in and try to have that conversation with myself. Um, and that's a great way to practice. But I'm going to go back real quick with Nell Court with your trust, dealing with your trust issues with yourself. First, I just need a little bit more information, Nell. I don't. There's so many. I have so many answers to that in my head. I'll just go with what's on my mind, and hopefully, if I'm off, then you let me know. Um, with dealing with trust issues with myself, I typically tend to ask myself what it is, why it is that I'm mistrusting this person. Is it something that they've done to me? Is it some conversation that we've had? What is it that's causing me to distrust? And if it is that, then I like to address that. I like to say, I really want to have this conversation. I really want to improve my relationship with you, but I'm having a hard time understanding this, or I'm having a difficult time dealing with that. Okay. And you fill in the blanks with what it is. Just let people know, I want to have a good relationship with you. Again, state your intentions. I want to, be able to talk through things. I want to be able to trust you, but I'm having a difficult time understanding why this happens, why you're doing this, or what it is that's causing, you to, speak to me this way. Whatever it is, I don't know what it is for you now, but just let them know up front. I want to trust you. I want to have a good relationship with you, but this is what I'm struggling with, and give them the opportunity to talk through that. Does that is that kind of along the lines of what you were asking? No, let me know. Okay. Okay, so that's good. Let's see. You show weakness and they will condemn you to hell. Oh, yeah, that's good too. Communication is absolutely key. Let's see. Miranda said, Harrison Family Vlogs. I'm so sorry. I'm up and down through the chat. Let me tell you, that conversation you had this morning with mixing politics, why you shouldn't mix politics with religion, that was so good. So good. For those of you who all are, like I say, are looking, that's just another excellent channel, Harrison Family Vlogs. Go out there, check him out. He did an awesome conversation this morning about mixing religion and politics, why they don't mix. I could not have explained that any better myself. I just thought you did an excellent job with that, and I so appreciated that conversation. So thank you so much for being here and for having that conversation. And I'm going to shout you out. So Harrison Family Vlogs, get over there and get that. Okay. Let's see. Our comments, actions, although may seem, let's see, something could use a person to could cause a person to pop off. Our action could cause a pile of emotions to collapse, as it was the last straw to take them over the edge. Yes. Let's see. And it got cut off. I don't know. It says, and we get and that one got cut off. Yes, you're right. The positive pusher. Oh, minute. I'm sorry. Minute. I'm sorry. I said minute. Let's see. It may seem minute, can cause the person to pop off. Absolutely. You're so right about that. Yeah. We think that we're being simple. We think that we're, being easy or calm or, expressing ourselves well. But yeah, we can be saying something that will cause a person to pop off. Very easy. Let's see. Reaction that was meant for someone else. Yes. We have to be careful with what we're feeling, not to put what we're feeling onto someone else, for sure. So let's see. One of the things that I want, whatever your practice is that you use to help change your emotions and get your emotions back into a healthy state, these are the things that I want you to think about and meditate on when you're thinking about working towards changing your emotional state. Number one is when you're having a conversation with someone and you take a moment, let's say for those of you, and this is especially for those of you who shut down, okay? If you shut down and you walk away, which I think is a good practice sometimes. Now, I don't think you should just walk away and not say nothing, but you should let people know, hey, this conversation is going somewhere that I don't want it to go. And I don't want us, either one of us, to say things that we don't mean. So before this conversation goes somewhere that I don't intend for it to go, I'm going to walk away. We can reconvene and, give me 5 minutes, give me 10 minutes. Can we talk about this tomorrow? Can we talk about it on Tuesday or Saturday, whatever it is? Like I say, and just honor that time that you set. And then once you take that minute, when you're walking away, try to have these thoughts. What did I hear? What was it that I heard the person say? And from what they said, what was it that I understood? So what was my understanding of what was said? So that way, when we go back to the conversation, we're able to explain what it was that bothered us. Okay. Let me look here. Self-awareness and self-management is so important. I always share that you can't control what other people say. Yes. Do or think. Absolutely. So the better understanding and control we have of ourselves, the better off we are. You're so right. Absolutely. Let's see. If you suspect a person who you are talking to has trust issues that causes them to react, how can you deal with those issues? Okay, that's a great question, and I'll come to that. I'm gonna come back to you now. Transference is common. Frustration at work bring taken out on loved ones at home. Yes, absolutely. You all are so right. Hey, the fruitful wife, how are you? Welcome in. Good to see you. You hanging up late again tonight, I see. Okay, I'm gonna come back to that question now because that's a really good question. Let's see. If you suspect the person who you're talking to has trust issues that causes them to react, how can you deal with those issues? Yeah, for sure. Yelling never helps anything. Yelling, cussing, fussing, all that stuff, it never helps a conversation. It may make you feel better temporarily, but it resolves absolutely nothing. And if your intention is to work on the relationship and improve the relationship, go ahead and get rid of those practices. Okay. If you need to yell and cuss and fuss and do all those things, go, leave the room, go somewhere else, let that stuff out and then come back, get yourself together and, get back to the conversation, because that yelling and cussing and all fussing and all that kind of stuff, it doesn't do anything. It makes situations and matters worse. Okay. Okay, so now to answer your question, if you suspect that they have trust issues and that's causing them to react, again, let them know up front, I know that this is a sensitive topic for you, or I know that this is a passionate issue for you, and I want to be able to answer your question or have this conversation with you without taking you to a point of being upset. Okay, so let them know, hey, I'm going to respond to your conversation, or we're going to have this conversation, but I want you to know up front that my intention is not to cause you to get upset or be angry or this, that, and the other. Always, again, state your intentions up front. And then, and if it is that you feel like you're saying something that's causing them to not trust you, then say to them, I feel like you are thinking this, or it sounds like you're feeling this way. Am I correct in thinking that? And if it is that they're feeling a certain kind of way, or you're saying something, then let them know, okay, then tell me, how could I have said this differently so that you don't feel that way? How could I have said this differently? Because a lot of times we just have our way that we talk, right? Due to our family, due to how we were raised, whatever it is, we just have the way that we talk. But everyone does not receive what we have to say well based on how we talk. And sometimes we have to be willing to alter our conversation, alter our words to let them know that we have good intentions and we're going to try to work through this conversation. But I need to know how to talk to you because I don't know how to talk to you, and just let them know. So let me know. Tell me, how could I have said this differently so that it doesn't cause you to mistrust what I'm saying or misread my intentions? Okay. How could I have said this differently? So I hope that answers your question. Okay. So this, let's see. Okay, so then this is the last thing I kind of wanted to say before, because we're running up on our hour here. Time goes by so fast. Time goes by so fast. Let's see. So when our emotions are high, when we're already out there, right, with our conversations and things are not where we want them to be, the first thing we need to know, yes, state the intention. Yes, say I feel, to clarify, ask how to talk to them so you trust what I'm saying. Yes, yes, you got it. $200 an hour information. My husband and I had to learn this in therapy. Yes, the fruitful wife. Yes, I'm here to give it for free. I don't want y'all having to pay for nothing. I've sat through years of therapy myself. So yes, I'm giving it for free. So when you're in the height of your emotions and things are taken over, stop the conversation. Okay. As quickly as you can, try to stop the conversation. Let them know how you're feeling upfront. Hey, this is going somewhere where I don't want it to go. This is not what I want for our relationship. Let them know, just stop it. I want us to stop talking. Will you please, let's end this conversation, because I don't think this is what either one of us wants. And then ask for a moment. If you need to take a moment, ask for the 5 minutes, ask for the next day. Can we talk about this over the weekend when I'm feeling better, when I'm not sick? Give me some time. Let them know I need some time to process what you're saying, because this is a lot for me, what you're saying. This is difficult. These are some issues or emotions that I'm going to have to work through. And I don't want to say things that I don't mean, or, do things that I don't want to do. Okay. So let them know what you're feeling upfront. And then if it's too much for you to talk about, if you find that it's even too much for you to talk about, I'm a huge writer. So write a letter about what you're feeling, or send a text or email. But here's the thing with the writing. Okay. Do not write these 4 or 5 page letters to somebody about what you're feeling. Okay. Try to sum it up in no more than 2 pages, 3 at the utmost. Okay. Try to narrow it down to 2 pages. If you're going to write a letter, let them know how you're feeling. Because what I find about texting, for some people especially who are very reactive, when you write, it allows them opportunity to really listen to what you're saying, right? Because when you're talking, people are hearing, but they're not really listening. So when they're reading, they really are taking more time to read what you're saying and listen. They have a better opportunity to listen and understand what it is you're trying to say. And you can get your point across better, especially if it's someone who likes to overtalk you. Okay. If they'd like to try to shut you up and, with that controlling kind of conversation, I'm going to overtalk you and I'm going to take command of this conversation and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, write, email, text, but just be careful with that, because, things can easily be misread that way as well. And then bring in a third party if you need to. If you need a counselor, you need a pastor, you need a coach, whatever, a good trusted friend who can be unbiased. Bring in a third party to help referee the conversation, if you will. Okay. So sometimes we need a referee. You got 2 fire signs, you got 2 hotheads, you might need a referee. Okay. So don't be afraid to get that if you need to. And then the last thing is know yourself. Know yourself. Know what your triggers are. Know what causes you to react in certain ways. Don't put yourself in spaces that are non-conducive to you maintaining a level, healthy, clean, peaceful spirit. And don't allow people in your space that cause your emotions to, run hot. Okay. So protect your spaces, know your triggers, know yourself. And if for some reason a conversation is coming to you in an environment, but where you have what I like to call amplifiers, right? People who are like, oh, you gonna let them talk to you like that? Oh, is that what you say? Stop the conversation and say, you know what? We can have this conversation, but it's not going to be right here and it's not going to be right now. Try to remove yourself from an audience, okay? And have one-on-one conversation as often as the best you can with the person. Get rid of the audiences because they're typically only going to amplify whatever your emotions already are. You're already dealing with your emotions. You don't need to deal with theirs too, okay? All right, guys, I know this was a lot. I tried to pack in to an hour. I hope it was beneficial to you. I hope you got some good out of it. We can only control us. We can only control ourselves. We can't control other people. So focus on you. focus on your emotions and try to keep yourself in a peaceful and emotional state so that you can have healthier relationships. I'm going to look at this. Let's see. I don't know how I feel about texting a response. Most people will read it with their own emotionals and tones behind it. Yes, and it could be misconstrued. You're right about that. You're absolutely right about that. So typically I know the person that I'm, talking to, and absolutely I've written letters that have been misconstrued. So yeah, you do have to be careful with that. And like I said, that's more for situations where people really like you can't talk, because it immediately turns into a yelling match. Okay, so writing and texting and emailing is not for everyone. But if you know that you're a person that can't be heard, or you can't get out what you need to say, sometimes writing it down is the best method to get started with the conversation. Okay, and it doesn't have to be the final conversation. It can just be the start of a conversation that needs to happen. Okay. Let's see. I've enjoyed what you've shared with us. Thank you, Natural Way of Cody. Great night. So much wisdom. Thank you so much. It's the wisdom of the Lord. I talk about the things that I've experienced, the things I've been through, the lessons I've learned. That's all you're going to get from me on this channel. If I haven't been through it or experienced it 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to talk about it, because that's just not what I do. Let's see. Must it end? Such great nuggets. Thank you. Yes, it must. We all have lives. There are bazillion awesome content creators out there. And I want you all to have your time with whoever you all want to spend time with. Thank you. I hope you all have a blessed day as well. Life with Triple T. Thank you so much. Bless the Lord. Absolutely. I'm going to say a quick prayer for those of you who want to stick around for a minute. For those of you who need to leave, it's fine. I do want to say I have an exciting announcement coming out tomorrow. So watch out for tomorrow's video. Okay, it'll be out tomorrow morning. So check out that video. It's an exciting announcement about this channel that's going to be happening. So look for that tomorrow for those of you all who are interested in keeping up with what's going on with You Can Talk. Okay. All right. So I'm going to say a quick prayer and then we'll be headed out. Father, I just want to thank you so much for this day, this time, for your children. Father, we are all your children. I just thank you for allowing us this opportunity to come together to talk about how it is that we can deal with our emotions. Lord, we don't have to allow our emotions to take over us. Our emotions, when we allow them to, ruin our relationships, are just nothing but the enemy, Lord. And we have power over him. You've given us power over him. The power of you lives within us, and we have the power to control our words, control our tongues. Help us to get in your word, keep our heads in the right spirit, our minds in the right spirit, so that what comes out of our mouths from the abundance of our heart is covered in your love, covered in your peace, covered in your understanding, covered in your honor, all those things, so that when we speak, people know that our intentions are good. Father, help us to be light in this dark world. Help us to bring light to dark conversations. Give us the courage to say the things that we need to say and the wisdom to know when we need to be quiet. Take over our tongues, take over our mouths, take over our hearts, our relationships, our conversations, so that when we don't know what to say, we allow room for the Holy Spirit to come in and speak for us. Lord, we trust you. We love you. We thank you. We honor you, and we know that nothing is impossible with you. So no matter how the situation, how bleak the situation may look, no matter how the enemy tries to paint colors that all is lost, we know that in you it is not. So Father, help us to put our trust in you, help us to seek you and to understand, so that we get a better understanding of what we need to say, how we need to handle our conversations, and how not to let our emotions get in the way of you. Lord, we love you. We thank you. Bless every single person in this live tonight. Bless those who will be watching the replay. And just thank you. We love you. These things we ask in your son, Jesus' name. Amen. All right, guys. I will see you all very soon, I hope. So you all take care. You have a blessed night, a wonderful night. Love you all. I love each and every one of you. And I will be popping into you all's channel. So look for me. I'll be popping around, looking around, peeking my head in, and seeing what's going on with you all this week. So you all take care. Have a blessed night, and I'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.